Good morning. Welcome to the Cohn Phone. I'm Grant Cohn. This is the Cohn Phone. I'll be here for about the next hour taking your calls. If you want to call in, click the link in the description of the video or it's in the chat box as well. I'm going to wait a few minutes as people call in. And as we wait, I want to talk about JT O'Sullivan's new interview because it's not really an interview. It's his new video where he interviews Kyle Shanahan. It's phenomenal. You got to watch it. Walter Bruce Styles, thank you. Hadiz Muhammad, you're first up, so I'll let you get ready, but I want to talk about this video first. JT O'Sullivan on Kyle Shanahan. It seems like all of a sudden Kyle Shanahan's stock is a little down. I mean, that was one person you could not criticize if you wanted to be like taken seriously in the media. Like the only person who like really criticizes Kyle and sometimes even ridicules him in a snarky way is me. Until now, JT O'Sullivan, a 30-minute video on his YouTube channel, the Quarterback Film Room. He actually pretends to interview Kyle Shanahan, dresses up as Kyle Shanahan. He's sitting, I don't know, he has some very high-tech CGI, but he's sitting across from himself, interviewing himself wearing Kyle Shanahan stuff, and he's really being snarky and kind of dismissive of Kyle Shanahan and what he does. It goes through all four of the quarterback injuries from this past season and just shows how there are design flaws in the Niners offense on each one. Really interesting. And then at the end of the video, he gives his ultimate conclusion on what's missing from the 49ers offense schematically. It's phenomenal. So I'm going to give a little Spark Notes version real quick because I just watched it and it's on my mind. So first, Trey Lance's injury. He just shows it's a really poorly executed play. First of all, Mike McGlinchey gets beat across his face by a defensive lineman who blows up the play. Everything from there gets messed up. Aaron Banks is pulling. He gets knocked off track. That slows down Trent Williams. And ultimately, Trey Lance gets injured by a player who was completely unblocked and was supposed to be blocked by Trent Williams. So the two offensive tackles on that play really didn't execute well. Mike McGlinchey at the beginning, Trent Williams at the end. And JT O'Sullivan's ultimate takeaway was if the Niners had just double-teamed that D-tackle who beat McGlinchey off the rip with Spencer Burford and McGlinchey, Burford had no one across from him, the initial chaos wouldn't have happened, the initial penetration. I think it's a really good analysis. Good job, JT, on that one. Then on Jimmy Garoppolo's, he points out that it's a third down and you got five guys in the pattern. It's a zero blitz, no one in the middle of the field. There's no one attacking that. And you got two guys in the backfield, Debo and McCaffrey. They're both running choice routes. McCaffrey is a seasoned, experienced running back. He sees the blitz. He runs a quick hot route, a quick flat route to the outside. Debo doesn't. And he's saying either like Debo doesn't know what he's doing or Debo wasn't coached properly or why are you asking a wide receiver to make that running back adjustment on third down anyway? So Debo's mistake. If you remember, Jimmy's looking to his left. He gets hit by a guy unblocked off his left. It's supposed to be a hot route there. There isn't one. It's supposed to be Debo. That's what you get, I guess, playing wide receivers at running back. I mean, it's cool playing Debo at running back when you hand him the ball, but he's not a running back, so he doesn't really know how to. I don't know. I guess he's not coached to do that stuff, not coached that well as a wide receiver, as a running back, excuse me. So that's that. Then the Brock Purdy one, he again shows Debo. Debo's supposed to kind of make Hassan Reddick slow down. He's running a ghost motion, an end around without getting the ball, and he jogs it the whole way through. He's basically does nothing on the play. He has no impact. You know, and what JT O'Sullivan says, hey, if you're gonna have the guy jog through the ghost motion, why don't you have him come around and block Hassan Reddick as opposed to doing nothing? Which I think is another really astute observation. And then finally on the Josh Johnson injury, he looks back and he's like, look, I mean, all credit that you got Kittle and Juszczyk chipping on the outside, but this is a 7-step drop from under center like it's 2004. That was the best line of the whole video. I laughed at that one. And I really do feel like Kyle Shanahan's offense is stuck in 2004. At least the whole offense is stuck in 2004. So JT O'Sullivan's final analysis is like, look, you're so committed to the run game and the play action game. You have every concept imaginable in the run game, every concept imaginable in the play action game. But when it comes to the drop back passing game, it's extremely limited. It's not that good. It's sparse. It's not the emphasis of the offense. And I don't think Kyle would even disagree with that. The Niners' attitude is they don't need to focus on the drop back passing game because they don't do it very much because they're always winning. They run the ball. They do play action. They don't even practice 2-minute drills. Remember Kurt Benkert said that? He was on the team for a little while, and then he was doing a Twitch stream. They don't practice 2-minute drills. Drop back passing is not an emphasis. And they think they can win a Super Bowl that way. The thing is, you can win an NFC West division title running the ball and doing play action, playing good defense, and leading games most of the time. But we see it eventually in the fourth quarter of the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl, then you got to pass. And the Niners just aren't built from the offensive line to the protection schemes to the route concepts, the patterns to the play caller. This is not built to drop back pass, and that's why they always flop when it's time to do it. You can't win a Super Bowl in 2023 working around the drop back passing game. It's a passing league. It's not a running league. Running is important. It matters, but it's the least important thing. You got to be balanced. They got to respect it. You want them to be on their heels, but it's not the engine of your offense anymore. But Kyle is stuck in 2004. So very illuminating. All of a sudden, people are starting to say what I've been saying for a long time about Kyle Shanahan. And I think the fact that he's in year 7 and has no actual plan or answer at quarterback is sort of opening up these criticisms. It's interesting. I'd love to know what you think of Kyle and where the Niners are going right now. Let's get to some calls. If you want to be on the show, you got to have your camera on, because I can't bring you on the show and then have you turn your camera on midway through the session. I don't know where you are, what you're doing, what you're wearing. I don't trust you. I don't know you at all. So I'm going straight to Fly Guy Ash. What's up, man?
What's going on, Grant?
What's up, man? What's up?
What's going on, son? Son of mine, my bad. I really don't know where to start. I've been on the phone. I've been on the show before, but I don't really know where to start. We making some good moves this offseason, but I'm gonna just jump straight into really what I think. Let me just talk real quick. Kyle Shanahan, number 1. Okay. Trey Lance.
Dude, you got to get that sun out of the frame, though, man. It's killing me.
My bad.
I don't want to interrupt you, but there you go.
You good. My thing about Kyle Shanahan, right? So we did all that. We did all the movement to get Trey. And then he just throws Trey under the bus. Trey doesn't exist, right? And it's like, I understand the NFL is a business and everything, but you're a coach. What the Niners, I'm a diehard fan, and it irks my blood. Just the fact that as a fan and as a head coach, the head coach does never take no fucking accountability. He sits here, Trey Lance is Lamar Jackson. It's a fucking shit show, and I'm just very pissed off lately. I've been very pissed off lately. Kyle Shanahan's lack of accountability, John Lynch's lack of accountability. The whole 49ers organization is a lack of accountability.
Real quick, hold on, Fly, I'm with you. Let's stay there. The way I look at it, with Trey, they're burying him, but he didn't do anything wrong. He just got injured, and their plans changed. Shouldn't they at least show some remorse? Be like, you know what? It's terrible. It's so they should express remorse and responsibility, but they won't even do that, which makes you feel like they act like they're a player-friendly organization. But are they really? I mean, Kyle's friends with some of the players on the team, but a lot of the players, it seems like he treats like Madden players. Oh, you got hurt? Hey, man, that's the game. Sorry.
Exactly. And I don't like that. That's a fucked up mentality to have as a head coach. Honestly, that's a fucked up mentality to have as a head coach. That's that. What's the next thing I want to talk about? The next thing I want to talk about Purdy. I love Purdy. I hopped on the show before Purdy. I think it was his first start.
Uh-oh, he got a call.
You got me?
Yeah, you got a phone call, didn't you?
Yeah, I was getting a phone call.
Yeah, that happens.
My bad.
Hey, put your stuff on airplane mode when you call, whatever. Never mind. It's all good.
There we go. I got it on. I just started.
There you go.
Purdy came in. Purdy is a great player. I love Purdy. But I honestly just feel like Trey has never had a fair chance. And as bad as I want Trey to be on our team, at this point, he's going into year 3.
That fair chance isn't coming.
Exactly.
So let him go. Hey, maybe the way I look at it, Larry Kruger on my channel, he has his own channel also, is saying he thinks he says he thinks they're going to trade Lance on draft night. And I could see it, but I could see it if Purdy hadn't gotten injured. The fact that Purdy's injured and they really don't know exactly when he's coming back makes me feel like they have to keep Lance until Purdy returns. And if Purdy returns week 4 and Lance is 3-0, then Lance isn't getting benched. So I still think this isn't over. Hey, man, you got to tell that person to stop calling you, man. But, yo, I got to take some more calls. So why don't you wrap it up?
It's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna be back on next time, and I'm gonna have it on Do Not Disturb. But
hey, all right, man.
Grant. Appreciate you, man.
All right, later. Peace. Hadiz Muhammad, you ready? What's up?
How's it going, Grant?
Good. How you doing?
Not bad. The last Cohn phone, my audio was muffled. Is it bad?
You sound perfect right now. You sound good.
Okay. Well, I know a lot of people want to talk about the quarterback situation, and I'm completely fine with that.
I'm down to talk about something else, man. Let's do it.
All right. I want to talk about the running back room because I feel that there's a little hindrance at that position right now. Okay. The Niners recently met up with the running back in LSU. Why? I don't know. They have 3 third-round picks this draft.
They drafted a running back from LSU last year. Literally last year.
It's going to be – that's my question. Do you think the Niners are going to pick another third-round running back that they're probably not going to use?
I don't think so. I saw it coming last year. I feel like I saw it coming, and I remember being in the draft room, and I asked Matt Mayoko, "Hey, Matt, do you think they're going to draft a running back in round 3?" And he goes, "No." I was like, "Are you so sure?" But so I had a feeling last year because I think in that negotiation with Debo, they were trying to say like, look, well, first of all, I think they were trying to prepare for life without Debo. So I think running back, wide receiver, back to back was, hey, if Debo doesn't ever come back, we'll have someone who can, sort of do what he does as a running back and sort of do what he does as a wide receiver. I think that was the thought.
It was really odd. Debo was a little chunky at that time, and then he had to rotate into training camp like, hey guys, like, what's up? Like, all that contract negotiations, and that's over now. And I thought he had a rough training camp because the constant issue in training camp was they couldn't catch anything. The drops was a huge problem. But now I want to emphasize this. The Niners running back room right now, in my opinion, is the most talented in the league. You have 3 starters, in my opinion. I know Christian McCaffrey is definitely one, but I want to talk about...
My only question with Mitchell, like, Mitchell needs to show that he can stay healthy because at no point in his career has he been able to stay healthy. But he's so good. He averaged like 6 yards a carry last year.
Yeah. But
good.
There's a guy behind him now who's starting to play a dominant role. Jordan Mason is on his come up. Yeah. Do you think he can take that second running back role from him?
I mean, the way I look at it is it's going to happen inevitably because Mitchell's going to give him the opportunity. I mean, I hate to predict injuries. I'm just talking like probability here. It seems like we know what the pecking order will be to start the season, but eventually Jordan Mason's going to probably get that job. And it's like they held him back last year because he was just a rookie. Or they never really explained what the reason was. Just like they never explained why. They didn't give one. But now he's in his second season with the team. I mean, I'm thinking he's going to be more of a factor this year. He earned it.
Right. Well, we have to hope that, or as a fan base, we have to hope that CMC has another healthy year. Last year was one of the lucky years for him.
We need to talk about that right there because I think this is the key to the season. When they got Christian McCaffrey, their offense took off. All of a sudden, Jimmy Garoppolo played the best football of his life. And the Niners used him liberally. Like, they gave him a ton of touches. I think against Seattle, in Seattle, it might give him 34, 35 touches. I think with catches, I think he got more than 30 touches in one of those games. Anyway, it was a lot, and I feel like they're flirting with disaster, and he was kind of limping around the field at certain points. He soldiered it out. He had a great year, but 20 more games of that, I mean, they need to dial it back in the regular season so that he makes it through the whole year and is strong at the end. That's the key to the year.
What I really hoped they did was incorporate a 3 running back role, starting with Christian McCaffrey, Debo, and then a Mitchell.
Every team uses a rotation. Every team uses a rotation. It's like it makes every running back better. They're more fresh. They get fewer injuries. Like, why would you not do it, especially if you have 3 good running backs? Come on.
I want to hold you right there.
Real quick, didn't it feel like Kyle was just trying to justify his trade for Christian McCaffrey? Like, man, I got to give him as many yards and touches and touchdowns. Yeah. So people, like, dude, you won the trade, man. You won the trade. The only way you lose the trade now is if he gets injured. So chill.
Well, I want to talk about the elite contenders and how they use their running backs. I'm going to use the Chiefs, for example. They used Clyde Edwards-Helaire, for the start of the season. He's the 3rd running back now. It's Isaiah Pacheco, who runs like a dog. And you got Derek McKinnon in the receiving back. Yep. Then we look at the Eagles. They start with Miles Sanders. Then they go to Boston Scott. Then they rotate their backs, so they're all fresh and they're all healthy. The Niners stick with Christian McCaffrey until he's tired. Then they throw in another running back.
That's right.
What I really hope is they don't get their running back injured by doing this, because they got to start going with the league. They got to start using multiple running backs. But
yeah, and I'm looking at Isaiah Pacheco. Like, how many times last year did he run the ball more than 15 times?
No,
twice.
Probably in the Super Bowl. He got a lot of
he ran 15 times in the Super Bowl. He ran 22 times against the Rams week 12 and 16 times against the Jaguars week 10. That's it. They do not overuse him. And the way he runs so freaking hard. I don't know if he could do that for 22 carries, but for 15?
It's doable in 15 carries because they're not giving him the load. They're not like, hey, on 1st and 10, you're getting that thing.
Yeah. And that's why you don't draft a running back in round 1 or really early in the draft, because you do that because you say, oh, he's going to be our bell cow. Who needs a bell cow? I'd rather have a guy. You don't need a bell cow. I'd rather have a guy with 15 carries than like soldiering around, like trying to do 24. No one does that. You're going to get hurt.
And it also doesn't help that you use your quarterback as a running back, running him down the middle of the field, because that is god awful. I don't know why you do that. And Kyle Shanahan tried justifying it by saying, hey, do you guys watch the Bills? Do you guys see what Josh Allen does? They don't run him between the tackles. They run him on sweeps around.
They do. Options. They do. With lead blockers. Freaking lead blockers.
Too.
Yeah.
Not like he's getting like kind of pushed back. And it's awful.
Anyway. Well, the running back position really is the key, though, because Kyle Shanahan devalues the quarterback position more than any coach in the league. He's all about the running back position. And really the reason that his dad won Super Bowls is because of Terrell Davis and the fact that they found him. So good call, man.
All right. Thanks for taking my call, Grant. Thank you, man.
For sure. Later. Tommy Huxley says Colton McKivitz, Big Mike McBust. Possible. I actually think that's within the realm of possibilities. All right. Who is next? Phoenix. Man, I haven't seen you in a while. What's up?
Yeah, not.
How you doing, man?
Just rehearsing. But I've it's been a while. It's great to see you and speak to you again, man.
Great to talk to you too, man. Is that a UCLA sweatshirt?
But I honestly think I was contemplating it, but I don't. I don't. It didn't have the major that I wanted, so I had to switch to consider either Berkeley School of Music or the rival school USC, since they had it as a major.
Okay. All right. What's on your mind?
But what's on my mind is that I honestly think that this is very controversial here, and I just think I know this is a hot topic here, but it's I honestly think that this everything has been mishandled. The Trey Lance thing has been mishandled. The Brock Purdy thing has been mishandled as well, in my opinion. And I do understand that people want Brock Purdy back right now, but the thing is that I honestly think this is the chance for Trey Lance to shine. This is and to me, I just think that this is going to be really hard to say, but I think I'm going to say this. Kyle Shanahan, when it comes to quarterbacks, is incompetent. He's an incompetent POS because, like, the thing is that he never, because he reminds me, he reminds me. I remember one of the things that they did with your dad, who I love. Give him a big hug and kiss for him, for me when you see him. But he said, because I remember how he said, we don't worry about mechanics, we just worry about the where the ball is. To me, that is a red flag right there. And second of all, he's not doing anything to even when he gets the finished product. Not even Trey Lance. Let's talk about the elephant in the room here. That offensive line what is he doing to help the blind side? And help protect his quarterbacks. It's like I absolutely agree that that he has all the weapons, but he's not giving anybody time to utilize those weapons. It's like okay, I'm this offensive genius, yet I'm not going to give my quarterback, who, regardless of who it is, any form of protection. I'm going to just like get. All we need is just the left blind side. Okay, Brock Purdy gets smashed from his front, and that's just football. Really? When was the last time you saw somebody go through 4 quarterbacks in one season? Is that seriously just football? No, that's carelessness. Kyle Shanahan is careless. He doesn't care about the organization. I understand that how he wants. He's a formulaic person, but do you know what? You need to have the proper pieces, and then this magic formula will come to fruition. But it all comes to the basics. I mean, like right. Even when in any form of art, because they have to understand that coaching is an art. It absolutely is, and in order to not botch shit, pardon my language, you need to go back to the basics, and he's not good with that. He's good with the flashy sprinkles, but he's not good
I'm with
the
you.
fundamentals of football.
I'm with you. He can't coach that stuff. He can't coach footwork. Yeah. Phoenix, that was an epic rant. I gotta keep it moving today. But thank you so much.
All right.
Good stuff, man.
But
all right, see you.
Yeah.
All right, take it. Good job. That was a great call. Manny Fresh says Trey doesn't have a chance. Cabo Crew in the way. Yeah, but Brock's on hold, and Sam Darnold is the only guy in the way, and Sam Darnold's over there learning the offense. Let's see what T Bizzle for Shizzle has to say on the subject. T Bizzle, good to see you.
Good to see you as well, brother.
For Shizzle.
What subject were you referring to? Because we've been talking Trey Lance a little bit. The title of the show.
49ers.
49ers. Life. Life in general?
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah. Well, I'm going to avoid that one for now. But,
all right, fair enough.
You asked Jed York, did he regret investing so much into drafting Trey Lance?
Good question.
Great question. And did you hear his answer? Do you remember what it was?
Did he give an answer?
He said, you know what? I was talking to, what's the coach of the Raiders' name?
Josh McDaniels.
He said, I was talking to Josh McDaniels, and he was laughing because he missed on Brock Purdy.
Right.
And he started talking about missing on draft picks. He's like, but we got Brock Purdy. But, if you would have known that Tom Brady was Tom Brady, you wouldn't have picked him 6th round. And he starts going off on all these people that people missed on. Mm-hmm. And that was his answer to your question about does he regret investing so much into drafting Trey. He started talking about missing on draft picks and how you don't always get him right. And if you knew somebody was somebody, you wouldn't have picked him there. But hey, we got Brock. That was his answer to whether he regret. So what is he telling you?
We got it wrong with Trey.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
What he's saying is Brock is so amazing. You could argue that we could have, if we had traded up for Brock Purdy, no one would be mad, right? So why don't you just pretend like we traded up for Brock Purdy?
Yeah, don't worry about us missing on Trey. We got Brock. Everyone missed on him.
Right. Even though Brock, his arm isn't like a bionic. He's like, remember Jax from Mortal Kombat with like the steel arms? That's Brock Purdy now. Never mind.
Well, I don't get that reference. Sorry, Grant.
You didn't play Mortal Kombat as a kid? Like, how old are you, man?
I'm 33.
You should have played Mortal Kombat as a kid. What were you doing?
I didn't. I played Grand Theft Auto.
Okay. You didn't play Super Nintendo?
No, dude. I played Grand Theft Auto. I watched.
Yeah, I played Grand Theft Auto in middle school too. We all played Grand Theft Auto. It was a great game. It was a phenomenal game. But what did you just did you discover video games in 7th grade? What are you talking about?
I played NFL Blitz.
Okay, fair enough. But that's like you're younger than me though. You're 2 years younger than me. It's all right. Sorry.
Yeah, one of your last callers had a UCLA sweatshirt, and you were interested in it. Why were you interested in that UCLA shirt?
Because I went to UCLA, and it's a beautiful sweatshirt.
You did? When did you graduate?
I was 2010.
Oh, okay. My girl, she went there, but she started in 14.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I always play
So
that
we
game.
just went and saw
That's cool. What?
what game?
Like, do you know so and so
You
that
said
went
you
to
always
UCLA
play
at the
that
same
game.
time as you? No, it's a huge school. Absolutely not.
Oh no, I won't. Yeah.
Yeah, super big. Yeah,
Uh,
no.
but we got to go to the March Madness, one of the first game over there in Sacramento.
Oh, nice. And we won
Yeah,
until we lost.
cool.
All right, man. Go have a good day.
Yeah.
Peace.
Oh, hold on. Wait, you cut me off.
What else you got?
Okay.
We talking about March Madness right now.
One of your callers the other day, or one of the people you had on your channel said, only Kruger saw that Purdy was going to be good. But you yourself during preseason this past year had to shut down a lot of your listeners. You're saying like, no, it's not going to be Purdy next year. He's not going to be the starter, because a lot of us in preseason saw Purdy balling out, and we were like, that kid's a baller. Let's see him play. And you had to go on your channel and say no. And it was just like a little flippant comment. But it's not true that Kruger was the only one. Purdy's had it since the beginning. Yes, I saw it.
Yeah. Well, shout out to T Bizzle for shizzle. I want to give you your props.
All right.
Next time anyone says it was just Larry, I'll be like, yeah, Larry and T Bizzle for shizzle up in Sac. Peace, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Peace.
He was like, don't cut me off. I saw Purdy. Like, yeah, okay, for sure. Joey Mellon says, looking fresh on a Saturday, Grant. Keep up the QC. Thank you. Got to stay fresh. Got to try to stay fly if you can at the same time. All right, Papa Dragon, you're up next. Tommy Huxley, got you. Oh, I must have missed the other one. My bad. Sorry about that. Manny Fresh, Cabo Crew. Oh, man. Melody Moonfire. That's a phenomenal name. Thank you very much. Grant getting smacked. What's going on? What are you talking about? All right, let's do Papa Dragon.
The 49ers will not win a Super Bowl as long as the Yorks are the owners.
Oh, yeah.
Now, again, of course, I'm an old bastard. You know, I've seen the 5 Super Bowls won by this team. But the one thing I have seen over the last 20 years is the league change. And I've also seen what it takes to win in this particular world or climate. You got to have a good owner. You got to have a good GM. You got to have a good head coach. And then you have a good quarterback. We have a team right now that has a poor owner that has already built a clique. He is financing a clique inside of his own team.
Yep.
We have a general manager who really has no experience and for the most part plays good cop. And then we have an arrogant, entitled coach who thinks that just because he listens to Lil Wayne, he has street cred.
Ooh. You came prepared today, Papa Dragon.
Ultimately, hey, this is just off.
I'm going to shut up. Go ahead.
This is off
you got the floor.
This is off the cuff. So the reality is, moving forward in the current league, we have a passing league, period. The Niners will continue to run through the regular season into the playoffs almost year after year. But we saw what happened when their quarterbacks were taken away. Now, people are saying, oh, it's just a fluke, blah, blah, blah. Getting 2 quarterbacks injured in a game is not a fluke. That is a pattern. We have consistently seen this coach double down on his poor decisions because there is no one to challenge him. The reality is that if he was an offensive coordinator and has done some of the things that he's done, he'd been fired a long time ago. He is legitimately another version of Mike Martz. He really is. Let me get a player. I'll plug him into my system. Get rid of the ball quick. Throw the ball where I want you to, and you'll win. That doesn't win championships.
Mike Martz at least understood about the passing game. Kyle doesn't. Like, Kyle is all run and play action. And that was JT O'Sullivan's point. That's Kurt Warner's point. JT O'Sullivan and Kurt Warner both played for Mike Martz. I think there are a lot of similarities between Martz and Kyle Shanahan, but that is the one difference. At least Martz knew about throwing the ball.
Right.
Throwing the ball.
Exactly.
Had a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Today's players are faster, they're stronger, but they're not as well calloused. What I mean by callous, they don't have mini camps. They don't hit with pads on, and then you
Don't
wonder
have two-a-days.
Exactly. Period. So there's that issue. So I'm going to run the offense the way it was run back in the day when we had actual mini camps and when we could hit.
Yeah. And that way you could practice all the different blocking combinations and the run plays over and over and over and over again. Now you can't do that. That's why everyone does zone blocking, because it's simple.
You can't. In the old days, you would spend 90 minutes just on goal line.
Yeah.
With pads. But you can't do that anymore. So you look at those instances and you look at his flawed plan. It's flawed in so many ways, and they're on the surface, Grant. They're on the surface.
Yeah.
We have almost $100 million wrapped up in D-line salaries.
Yeah.
But yet, you can hold Nick Bosa in the Super Bowl and it won't get called.
That's right.
What does
That's
that
right. But if Travarius Ward even breathes on the wide receiver, that's an automatic first down right there. Illegal breathing.
The plan is flawed because if you come across a top quarterback and a top coach, which you typically do in the playoffs, and now they're all over the AFC. They're all over the AFC. So you're gonna face someone top notch when you get there. Do you really mean to tell me seriously that Brock Purdy is gonna outplay Patrick Mahomes? Do you really explain? Is he gonna outplay Josh Allen, Joe Burrow? I'm sorry.
Right, and the Niners act like he doesn't have to, right? Because their defense and run game is so good. Like, no, you have to pass the ball to win the Super Bowl. Eventually. You could get to the NFC Championship running it, but you eventually have to pass the ball to win the Super Bowl. Pass for lots of points.
And Trey Lance has the potential to do that. But you'll never realize it if you don't have a plan. And their only plan is this. And this was on full display during the owners' meetings. They don't care about Trey. They don't care about Brock. They don't even care about Darnold. They care about a quarterback room. And a room doesn't take center. No. They want their salary for their room to be like this.
Yeah.
There's their salary for their room.
Their and they're so proud.
Salary is horrendous. Their offensive line salary is just stupid.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
And so they find themselves in essentially playoff purgatory, like where they're getting far, but they don't have the team that's built to go all the way. And they're saying, well, we had bad luck.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think John Harbaugh would have instantly been like, oh, Cabo Click, that sounds like a great idea?
No.
Hell no.
No.
Not a real coach is not going to settle for that.
No.
Okay, and I
can't have that.
Kyle's in the same age length, but remember, you got other guys in that locker room who don't get paid as much or may have to do more or are treated differently. Okay, and that's understandable, but the reality is don't put it on full display.
Real quick, if you got to go watch this JT O'Sullivan video, one of the things he talks about is Kyle Shanahan being a nepotism coach and the fact that he's buddy-buddy with the players. I think JT O'Sullivan kind of insinuates that Kyle is buddy-buddy with the players to sort of insulate himself from players being like, oh, he's just a coach's son. Like, no, players like him. Like, he needs the players to like him because otherwise he's just Mike Shanahan's son. And who the hell is he? He never played in the league.
And
he barely played in college.
Who else is the same way? Jed.
Who?
Jed's the same way. I'm gonna spin for you so that you'll like.
That's true.
Leadership skills.
Yeah, Jed is insecure about like his subordinates liking him the way Kyle is kind of insecure about his best players liking him.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And then the reality is Jed really all powerful? No, because the person that moves things is when his dad, Dr. York, shows up to practice when they're 3 and 5. And again, what did they do?
I don't even actually know how much Jed does anymore. Remember, Jed was like, he fired Harbaugh, he hired Tom Sula, he hired Chip Kelly. At a certain point, it's possible like the parents came back and like, you know what, Jed, we're gonna do this as a family now. You know, I don't know how. I don't know that Jed is making unilateral decisions anymore in that organization like he was. I don't think he is.
But he still makes decisions that impact things.
He still talks.
Room impacts things.
Yeah. He organizes the Cabo trip. He inserted himself into it.
Yeah. I you got callers. Last thing I want to say is that I really appreciate your conversations with your dad. I think it's awesome. Losing my mom the last year, I really wish I had my dad to lean on like that. And you're very, very fortunate, the both of you are, to have each other. And I think that's fantastic. So keep up the good work. And, I don't like everything you say or love everything that you do, but I still tune in every single week and I value your opinion. And I just think you absolutely rock, man. So if we move forward and if we win a Super Bowl for the 49ers, a lot of things have to go right. A lot of things have to go right. A lot of things have to go right. They have to play perfect. Shanahan has to coach perfect, and they could possibly do it. But I just don't see it because the football game is imperfect. And a big illustration of that is the simple fact that we just had a Super Bowl with an injured quarterback, and he was down by a lot of people. And I told people, I said, that's Patrick Mahomes. I don't care how many legs he only has. He only has one leg. But I guarantee you, Patrick Mahomes is going to win this game. He's the better quarterback. And he's not. Oh, you watch, and guess what happened? One leg, he runs for about 20-something yards. Has nothing to do with his arm. He's got.
He ran for like 40-something yards in that game. He only threw for 182 yards. It was an amazing performance.
That's what I'm saying, and we don't necessarily have that because we don't value it. We don't value the position. We value
Patrick Mahomes was staring Kyle Shanahan in the face, and Kyle was like, "Sorry, Patrick, I'm not interested."
And Jed, John, and Shanahan are attached to the hip. They ain't going nowhere for a long time. So it's going to be a great situation, to be honest with you.
Yeah, great call. One of your best. Always look forward to talking to you.
Yes, sir. Talk to you, buddy.
Care. I've never had a guy call in and just go, but I liked it. I thought that was great. He was prepared. He didn't need to say, "Yo, what's up? How you doing?" Just let's freaking get to the point. That was money. Manny Fresh says, "Why is everybody happy about a mediocre quarterback?" Purdy. I mean, did you not follow the entire Jimmy Garoppolo era? I mean, there was a lot of people extremely excited about him. So now we're on to the next. Niner gang, bang, bang.
Grant, what's going on, bud?
How you doing, bud?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. Man, let's talk about something different. Let's talk about our biggest threat next year in the AFC. Because, you know what I mean? Who's our biggest threat going to be?
Whoever's hiding behind you.
That was my little guy saying hi.
Biggest threat in the AFC?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm thinking it's always Kansas City until further notice. Who you like? Who you like?
Kansas City, I think they're kind of plateauing. I think they might have a little struggle next year.
They're losing a lot of weapons, right? Yeah.
What's that?
They're losing a lot of weapons.
Yes, but who's getting some weapons though? Buffalo. Buffalo has it down. The only thing they've been lacking these past 2 years is the run game. If they get that run game squared away and stop relying on Josh Allen, I think they might become the top dogs. And then we got to watch for Cincinnati. Cincinnati can never figure out that O-line and protect Joe a little bit better. That might be dangerous there. I mean,
3 really good teams.
I mean, I think them's our biggest threats over there. And I'm looking at all the little stats and stuff from last year, and it's like they got a lot of.
No, I'm with you. I feel like the Bills are a bigger threat to the Niners than Burrow and the Bengals because the Niners just struggle against quarterbacks who get out of the pocket.
Yes.
And Josh Allen does it easily. I mean, we saw Josh Allen against the Niners. I mean, he eviscerated him a few years ago. They had a top 5 defense that year. I think that was 2020. Yep. It's just a bad matchup. Like we saw the Niners against Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is really good, but he's going to basically stay in one spot.
He wants to throw the ball before he runs.
He wants to basically stay in one spot and throw the ball. And that means he's going to get sacked at least once by Nick Bosa. He got sacked 5 times against the Niners. I don't know. I just feel like it's a better matchup for the Niners.
I think so. I don't know what the Niners, and then I go into the NFC looking at who's our biggest threat in the NFC. And I mean, Philadelphia, I don't think they're going to have the same team and quite dominance as they did last season. I just don't believe that. It's hard to repeat those performances. Niners have been kind of fortunate, but at the same time, Niners are stuck, can't get over that hump for whatever reason. I mean, we all know the reason, but that's another conversation. But it's like Dallas, if Dak can get it together for one freaking season, Dallas, they're 2 less interceptions away from beating us.
When Tony Pollard went down that game, that changed everything. I don't know if the Niners would have won if Tony Pollard had played the whole game. But there's them, but there's also Detroit, I want to say. Like, they had a top 5 offense last year, and they have a great offensive line. Like, I feel like that's the thing with Philly and Detroit. Great offensive lines with no weaknesses. All 5 players are good. Like, you kind of need that against the Niners because the Niners, like, if you can neutralize their pass rush and D line, you got a shot. You got a shot. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And Jared Goff, say what you want about him, he's not afraid to run around in that backfield and extend the play, and that's the Niners' weakness.
If he has time, he can throw. Same thing with Jalen Hurts, and those teams give them time.
Jalen Hurts is undercover to me. Is he don't get the credit he deserves. I mean, I'll be the first one to say when I first seen him his first season or two, I was like, but last year, I mean, he's just so poised, decisive, knew what
He's
he wanted
great,
to
but
do.
at the same time, like how often do you see him with bodies around him in the pocket? I feel like the Eagles do as good of a job as any team is just giving him clean pockets. Yeah, he's got time and space most of the time, and that's because of a lot of things. Great offensive line. The fact that they go for it on fourth down means that they run it all out on third down, so you never really know when they're going to pass. I mean, they do a good job in Philly. Drink. I mentioned him again. Drink every time I mention Philly. You got to drink. It's the game, but you can't because you're a father, and it's
Yes.
11, 12. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Got things to do today with the little ones. But
yeah.
But yeah, Philly there, they protect him. You know, let's go all the way back to, I can't remember, 2020, 2019, 18, when Romo was still in the game playing for Cowboys last season or two. Jerry Jones wanted the Super Bowl. He went all out. I mean, Romo was having 7 seconds in the pocket. And
he did have a great offensive line.
And they still couldn't get it done. Goes back to, you got to have a few main pieces to get this thing done.
Yeah.
Nothing against Brock, Trey. We don't know either one of them. We don't know which one's going to be great or not. So I don't think we even have a Super Bowl window here to talk about. I'm still a believer in if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none.
Right.
You're splitting the reps.
Yeah. You're splitting the reps between Trey Lance and Sam Darnold. Okay, yeah. And that's why to me, like the Niner fans I think the Niners are very confident about what's going to happen this season. But I feel like other teams are looking at the Niners like the Seahawks. Aren't the Seahawks looking at like, hey, this could be our year? The Niners they legitimately don't know who their quarterback is. We do. Like Seahawks, we wouldn't trade places with them at quarterback.
Yep. Seahawks are flying under the radar right now. I mean, they've always
just need a couple pieces, man. Like one pass rusher, maybe one more offensive lineman. Like they're a pretty good team. They're pretty young, but they're pretty good.
And the thing of it is, is Pete Carroll, as old as he is, he might be evolving. He might have seen what's happening and what's going on. I mean, I have to say he's not stuck.
It seems like he values the quarterback position in offense more than Kyle. That's crazy to me, man. You're a defensive coach, but he gets it. Yeah.
Yes, he understands. Yeah. I mean, he's seen what Russell Wilson did. He's seen Russell Wilson was done with him too, so he moved on. He's got somebody hungry that wants to play, that knows his system, that's doing his thing, and he's keeping him healthy. Yeah. Big key factor. He keeps him healthy.
That's right.
That's all I want to talk about, man. Just what's going on with who's our biggest threat, something a little different. Because I'm thinking about next season, and it doesn't matter to me who's quarterback, lineman, this, that, and the other. Because if we don't got the pieces to beat the team on the AFC, none of it matters.
I feel it. That's right. That's the goal. Thank you, man.
Have a good day, Peace, Grant. Thanks for taking my call, buddy.
For sure. Bunless Hot Dog says Jed York looks like a guy who requests "Can you take me higher" by Creed on the Cabo trip bus. Probably wears a flat bill like Kyle too. LOL. No, Jed York kind of reminds me of like George Costanza in that episode where he like kind of develops like he really wants to be friends with Elaine's boyfriend who's like the rock climber, and he's like, hey, can I come rock climbing with you? And like, I'll make the sandwiches. Like that's Jed York. He's the guy making the sandwiches for the rock climbing trip. Jed York. Does anyone watch Seinfeld? Melody Moonfire says, fire Jed, Kyle Shanahan, maybe John Lynch. Get a fiery alpha owner who will trade for the top 5 quarterback and get rid of the Cabo crew. They like to party more than win a Super Bowl. They really like to pat themselves on the back for almost winning things. That's really what the Niners have done the last 4 years. A lot of patting themselves on the back. No crypto. Nice shirt.
I made it myself.
It's really nice.
$10 shirt down at Burlington Coat Factory and then tie-dyed it.
Beautiful.
It just didn't work real good with the original paint.
No, it definitely needed to be tie-dyed. It definitely needed to be tie-dyed. Good call.
Bro, I was just thinking, does Jed York look like, if he shaved his head and got hit with a bottle of talcum powder, would he be like Dr. Evil?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yes. No doubt. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Big question. You and your dad were talking about like Kyle Shanahan staying after hours and having beers with the pool reporters.
Yeah. I didn't go. I should have.
I don't know. I don't really see that it was a bad thing that you didn't. Have you ever heard of that before? Have you asked if that had happened before at all?
I've heard that he does that, and that it's sort of a tradition at these NFL annual owners meetings. There's a banquet, and the coaches kind of come out and mingle with with the journalists, and they all kind of drink together. It's kind of a tradition. It was my first time there. I was asleep by 9 o'clock. I had work in the morning. Kyle was like, man, he was late to the thing in the morning too. It was so funny. But then he sat there for half an hour.
I was wondering if it was him trying to butter people up, kind of like talking about Balky kind of making himself available and saying hi to people when he knew he was in the hot seat. So I was wondering if he was like,
no, I think he does. I think it's his tradition.
Out.
I don't think Kyle cares, honestly. I don't think Kyle gives a damn.
He's like a robot. Like it's in his planner
that he has
Teflon.
To do it. He knows he's never going to get fired by the Niners, and he knows if he does get fired by the Niners, he'll get hired somewhere else. So he's very calm, self-assured.
Kind of my question is with offensive line. We re-signed Colton McKivitz, and we've brought in a guy like Pryor. And to me, it seems like we're kind of moving to more of a power style of a run game instead of the zone. Doesn't that
I don't
pretty
understand.
much make McKivitz a guard overnight?
Well, he's 6'6". I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's as a starter. I don't really know what the Niners are thinking on that right side of the line, because Matt Pryor is so not what they do. I mean, they've always been they want the right side of their offensive line to be able to do the outside zone stuff and that Debo sweeps, like all their outside zone, like real perimeter runs go to the right. So all of a sudden that's off the table. Like if you think about it, in 2021 when they went on that run, it was Debo and Tom Compton leading the way. When McGlinchey went down, Tom Compton became the right tackle and Debo moved to running back. Everything changed. Like they haven't had that since Tom Compton left. And I felt like that was an element of the offense they wanted, like that right tackle who can get out and run on the outside zone runs. And McGlinchey hasn't been that for years. That's not McKivitz. It's not Matt Pryor. So I don't know what they're doing. Are they actually going to be like the Eagles and have a huge offensive line and just do zone reads up the middle? Is that what they're going to do?
Also, remember Tom Compton's contract. It was structured way different than these guys that they signed on the guard and the tackle. Pryor and I forget his name. Yeah, so it was like it seems more like they're planning on them to kind of play or have a decent time because they're paying them.
Well, maybe they're finally actually looking for a right tackle who's better at pass protection than run blocking. Because in the past, they've only been looking for right tackles who can fit their run blocking scheme, and whatever happens in pass protection they'll live with, which is how you get these 6'7" guys who weigh 295 pounds getting thrown around and by bull rushes, but they can actually like run. It's like, great. Well, it's a passing league. So maybe Kyle's figuring it out and they're changing it, because down the stretch last year with Purdy, they were more of a play action passing team than a running team. So I don't know. Maybe they're changing. And honestly, McCaffrey's not an outside zone runner. He's not Mostert. He's not getting the edge like that. He's not. So maybe they're done with that. But I don't know. I can't see Kyle Shanahan giving up on the outside zone altogether. It's his baby. It's his dad's baby.
I feel the 49ers moved off of DeForest Buckner because they needed Eric Armstead for his run stopping abilities with the wide 9 and the 4-3 defense, which 4-3 defense is susceptible to the run. Wide 9's even more susceptible. You know what I mean? So it's personnel in that situation. And I think we're moving away from the zone because we don't have a Raheem Mostert, because it's personnel. We can't, why make that a part of your game if you, so I think it's like info and reverse kind of.
So maybe they're going to all of a sudden get just way bigger on, because really, if you look at it, what they've always had was a bigger left side of the line and a very small and mobile right side of the line for years, because most of their outside zone runs go to the right. So maybe they haven't really been running outside zone effectively the last couple of years. Maybe they're like, you know what? Our offensive line is really small on the right, and we're not getting much out of it in the run game. So why don't we just get bigger over there? Possible. You got Feliciano and Matt Pryor. They're both big. And if you look at the Eagles, I think the only offensive lineman that starts there, at least last year, that was lighter than 325 was Kelsey. I mean, they have a ginormous offensive line, and so does Detroit, frankly.
And I feel with you go into more of a power style of a run game, it'll probably make them better in the beginning part of the season, because I feel one of their issues was there was very good cohesiveness in the offensive line through all those fancy plays. So if you're running like deuces where you're doubling down on the tackles and then moving up to that's day one stuff. So I think they'll have a better start.
Deuces. That's the thing. I'm thinking about Javon Hargrave real quick. Like he's a he's a bad run defender, excuse me. He's a great pass rusher, bad run defender. And it's not like just like, okay, liability. And he's going from a 5-man front to a wide 9. Like he's going to talk about deuces. He's going to get double teamed on those inside zone plays. Like what's going to happen there? He needs to be a 3-down player for what they're paying. They don't have to play him on first down if they got someone better, but the idea was that he was going to be a 3-down player for this team. So I'm a little concerned. Maybe they don't care.
It's not like you pull people out because it's a certain down. You are essentially pulling people out when you can, when the offense gives you the opportunity. So that whole down situation is just not something that happens during game time. You can on paper that.
I'm a little curious to see what Hargrave looks like in a wide 9. I mean, I know what he looks like as a pass rusher. He's great. And him next to Bosa is going to be cool. But as a run defender, like what's that going to be like?
If you don't want to allow the team to get substitutions, that's one of the reasons why I think the 49ers need to get a tight end, because I think the 22 personnel could be more deadlier than the 21 personnel. And if you keep all them out there in the run formation, make them come out and get some big bodies to stop you, don't do any substitutions, spread it out. Now you got mismatches all over the line because you got.
How dare you disrespect Kyle Juszczyk and his 1 touch per game?
I don't know.
How dare you? Look, he's a good player, but for what they pay him, like they don't use him enough. Like they use him to go in motion.
It's criminal.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
No crypto. Great call.
Thank you, sir.
Great audio and great setup too. Very professional. Thank you.
Keep on doing what you're doing, sir.
All right, you too, man. Later. With the tie-dye too. Jed York looks like we got the Creed one. Creed. That's funny. All right, David Montez, you're next. Then Jeremy Price. Then Martin Donaldson. Melody Moonfire. Yeah, we got you too. It's a great name. Melody Moonfire. Okay, I guess that's it. David Montez. What it do?
What's up, Grant?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me good?
I can hear you great.
Hey, man, I just got 2 things on my mind, man. First of all, I was reading an article online the other day that says we only got like 4.5 million cap space available. How are we going to get Bosa done, man? Am I the only one worried about that?
No, it's complicated, but actually, I think when they give him the extension, it creates a little bit of cap space. And
so is he accounted for right now during the cap?
No. Yeah, he has a cap number right now. It's probably like 17 million.
Okay.
But if they extend it, then they give him a signing bonus and a cap number next year will actually lower. It's complicated, but don't worry about it. Bosa's fine. Bosa's fine. Yeah.
All right. My second thing, man, is I don't know if it's just me. This might be a little crazy, but you know how Lynch and Shanahan were kind of talking up Purdy? What if they're not trying to, like how Kruger says he thinks they're going to trade Lance on draft day? What if really they're getting calls about Purdy and they're saying, you know what, this guy would be our number 1 if he was healthy right now, trying to get a higher value or a higher pick for Purdy? What do you think about that?
That's interesting.
Because Shanahan has always, we think Shanahan was the one that chose Lance over Lynch's say. So what if Shanahan really, really believes in Lance and they're trying to put off Purdy?
I don't think a team would trade for Purdy because Purdy can't pass a physical right now.
Yeah, that is true.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I don't think a team would, if they want to trade for him, would probably wait until he's cleared and he comes back.
Okay,
that's what I'm thinking.
This is like week 4.
But I also wonder like how many teams have totally flipped their opinion about Purdy, because all these teams scouted him and decided not worth the draft pick. Then they see him on the Niners playing with McCaffrey and Debo and all these great players, and he plays great. How many teams are like, we totally missed on him, he's a superstar? Because Jed York said Josh McDaniels said, I missed on Brock Purdy, he's really good. How many teams really feel that way? Or are they just being like, you know what, it's 8 games, he's on a great team, he's got Kyle and McCaffrey, let's see him do it again, especially coming off a serious injury. Like there might be a lot of that in the league right now with Purdy.
Right.
Yeah,
because that's just what I was thinking. I was like, there's basically more tape on Purdy right now in the NFL than there is on Lance.
Oh, no doubt. And that's why the Niners say that Purdy's the leader. Like he's the leader because he's played more and he's played really well. But let's say Purdy doesn't come back. He won't be ready until week 4. And Lance starts the first 3 games and wins them. Well, now, you could say he's the leader, but it's like a horse race and you haven't even gotten to the first turn. You're talking 8 starts against 4. So if Lance gets 3 more starts, now it's 8 starts against 7. And all of a sudden, the race gets tighter, and depending on what he does. So he definitely has an opportunity. All he has to do is beat out Sam Darnold, who's been trashed forever. So we'll see.
Sam Darnold, that's funny.
Where are you right now? I'm guessing
in El Paso,
you're in
Texas.
Are you like in like a Safeway? Are you in like a Trader Joe's?
No, I'm actually at a McDonald's right now.
Oh, that's what's up. All right, man. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you, Grant.
Peace. All right, Jeremy, then Martin. Dog. I love that you still rock the A stuff. Remember? Well, I can't hear you. Damn, man. Jeremy Price gets me juiced, and then he just bounces. Martin.
Hi, Graham.
Good to see you. No, I don't think that's plugged in. It's okay, though.
Yeah. So, how are you doing? You doing fine?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Today I want to be like Mr. Positive, I think.
Oh, it's time. So many people have been so upset.
No, but we all know that first round pick were really bad for the Niners in the last year, so that's a good thing this year they don't have one. So we cannot be disappointed. But I don't know why, but we saw that Kyle do not play or almost not play like first year's player. We have doubt about Banks. I thought he was great. He turned out to be pretty good. We have doubt about Ufunga. That turned out pretty well too. I really believe that they draft Burford to replace McGlinchey, but they wouldn't bench him, so they try to make him play guard. But maybe
I think they drafted Burford to replace Brunskill. That's the way I saw it. Because if you look at it, like they're built very similarly. Their pro days are pretty similar in terms of their athletic testing numbers. Maybe I'm wrong though.
But you know what made me really think about it is the Feliciano move. Because I really believe that he will be the starting guard. And between Banks and Feliciano, that's meat on the inside. And I think if you have Feliciano, Burford with Kittle on his side, or maybe McKivitz, but I think that could be a pretty nice setup for and maybe they'll draft a right tackle too and try having a three-way with like Burford and McKivitz and like a right tackle. And they have 11 draft pick. I cannot believe they won't go up in the draft. I mean, that roster is stacked and most positions are taken. So they're gonna try to like get up in the draft and pick up someone probably a running back, but that's another thing. And I think the same thing about Sam Womack. I think they didn't sign Ward because they really believe that between Leonard and I missed his name, the guy they get from Atlanta, and Sam Womack, they have a cornerback room there. So I kind of don't really like the attitude of Kyle Shanahan or always like those caboting or manage Trey Lance. But in terms of, I don't know who's really taking those decisions on draft, but between Shanahan and Lynch, how they draft like late people and develop them and like kind of not playing first year, but after that like be patient and everything seems to work fine. I think they have a plan for all those players and maybe for Danny Gray too. So with the draft this year and the continuity of what is coming, I think was in pretty good shape because of course everything will not work as everybody wants to, but I think it's looking pretty good. I think Womack has really good potential. We saw it in pregame last year, so I think there's something good there.
Well, that's interesting. I'm looking at the salaries right now. I think it's interesting. So John Feliciano, his cap number is $2.2 million this year with a guaranteed salary of $1.1. That is not insignificant. It's not necessarily what someone who's relegated to a backup role would be given. For example, Colton McKivitz, his cap number this season is $1.5 million. His guaranteed salary is $1.1, just like John Feliciano. Jake Brendel, his cap number this year, $2.2 million. Guaranteed salary, $1 million. So it looks like John Feliciano, in terms of salary, is right there in line with the starting center and the starting right tackle. So it's possible that Burford just could go to the bench and that John Feliciano has been signed to be the starting right guard because, frankly, he's getting paid to be that. That's very interesting. Or maybe they continue with that rotation where, two right guards.
And I think they just give themselves leeway there. They just, because they got like 1 million or 1.5 million or whatever, if Poe or Ezekiel or Burford or whatever, or someone they draft goes really well in the OTAs or in preseason, they can just say, okay, you're a start now. Because I don't care if I bench like Feliciano or if I bench McKivitz. So I think they have kind of like a mix that they can play with there. So I mean, you can.
Well, I mean, I think it's fair pointing out that John Feliciano is a better player than Spencer Burford. And I know people think, yeah, you know, he was admirable. He was a rookie. You know, he's going to get better.
And I think he's a tackle. I think Burford.
Maybe.
I think Burford is a tackle. I think
Right.
You know, remember when I told you that Slater was crazy good in that draft? It is not Slater, but I see something like really nimble, like feet and long, but still strong, not like McGlinchey and Burford. I don't think he's a guard. I think like playing in guard was really making him disservice. I don't think he's built as a guard. He didn't play that much guard in college. I think if you want to see what you got with Spencer Burford, it's a tackle. So,
well, I mean, he's definitely got the foot speed to fit in the Niners' run game. He's a little bit shorter than they like their offensive tackles, but he's got the length. And he wasn't particularly good at guard, so it'd be interesting to see. Martin, I got to take some more calls. Thank you very much.
No problem. See you again.
Spencer Burford is an enigma to me. I'd love to get some opinions on what people think his future is. Where is he best suited to play? Because I mean, I compare him to Daniel Brunskill. He's built like Daniel Brunskill. Brunskill played tackle. Brunskill's whole thing was he could play tackle and guard and even a little center, and he was actually pretty consistently good at all of them. Jeremy Price.
What up, dog?
Are you going to go into public wearing all that A's stuff right now? Are you going to an A's game? No. You're just going to walk around town.
Yeah.
You look great though.
Thank you, brother.
You look great.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to Safeway and go get some food.
You gotta look good when you're going to Safeway, man. You just don't know who you can run into.
Right? Just got back from Tokyo yesterday, dude. Fucking it was a good time.
How long were you in Tokyo?
11 days. 11 days gone.
That sounds so tight.
Dropped down.
It's a bigger city than New York, right? It's like the biggest city you can imagine.
There's so many cities within Tokyo.
Wow.
Right? There's like
everything's open like all night, right? That's crazy.
Oh my God.
I want to go.
The train system is crazy.
Was it expensive? Like was it expensive? The whole But you got it like that. Never mind. That's none of my business. So what's up?
I gotta know, man. I'm begging. I'm begging from you, man. Get out of here. What? No, man. It was it wasn't that bad. They're $100 is $80 to them.
Okay.
Right.
So it's a good little. Okay. Yeah. All right, man. Let's talk numbers.
You want to talk numbers? Fine. Let's talk numbers. No, I'm just kidding. Where do you think the Niners are weak? What's the weakest point of the organization?
Of the roster or the organization?
Both.
Yeah, I think they're weak. I think Jed York's weakness and insecurity kind of drips through the whole organization. And I think what's interesting is you have Kyle and John, who are two of the most confident, self-assured people in the league, and their boss is Jed. And like a lot of the way that they kind of run the media is Jed's thing. It's not. I don't think Kyle and John care that much about controlling the narrative. That's a Jed thing because he got crushed by the media when he was younger. So him, and then just the constant and it goes back to before Kyle too, but just like never finding the right quarterback. Never finding the right quarterback for whatever reason. They passed on Aaron Rodgers for crazy reasons. They passed on Patrick Mahomes. I mean, they've passed on some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time since the Yorks have been here because I don't think they really value the quarterback position that much, to be honest. I don't think they want because if you have Aaron Rodgers and you're the Packers, like Aaron Rodgers overshadows the whole organization, man. He's more famous than everyone. He calls all the shots, and I don't think the Niners want to be that organization at all. They don't want it.
No, so that leads me to my next question. What's your take on Steve Wilks, and how do you think he'll contribute to being that strong force that's like going to hold these guys accountable, or do you think he'll go in there and play puppet too?
It'd be nice, right? I mean, he's older than Kyle Shanahan. He doesn't owe Kyle Shanahan anything. Like, he has his own resume. It'd be really nice if Steve Wilks would do that. And in a meeting one day where Kyle Shanahan's trying to install that stupid play action pass with a one-on-one Tyler Kroft against Hassan Reddick, if Steve Wilks is like, Kyle, I just want to say all due respect, if you did that against me and I was a defensive coordinator, I would be thanking you. I would hope that you would do that. So I'm just putting that out there. Like, I hope Steve Wilks talks like that and Kyle respects it, because why else would you bring in someone of his caliber?
Ding.
You know what I'm saying? You could bring in a rookie who just says, yeah, whatever you say, Kyle. You could have done that, but no, you brought in Steve Wilks, man. So listen to him.
I love that, and I love.
Yeah.
See, I don't like getting into the numbers because you know, like we've been talking over years. For me, I want to get into the office. Let's get into the politics of it. I don't want to get into the numbers because those numbers can increase or decrease depending on who's leading the team, who's making decisions behind the damn curtain. I don't want to talk about the players on the field. I want to talk about the guy that we caught behind the curtain. No, not closing. I'm not Wizard of Oz reference.
Yeah.
So now my next question is, because I knew you were going to say that, and I'm glad we're on the same wavelength as far as the Steve Wilkes and whatever. Yeah. Draft picks. Do you have anybody in particular that you are after? This is going to lead me to my next question. But
not yet, man. I got to do a mock draft. Let me drill down on that because all the pro day numbers are coming in. I should be able to do that, but let me get back to you. I'm gonna do a mock draft this week for you.
Okay.
Okay.
2 more questions, and
Go for
it. The last one is the best one, but
okay.
This next one I gotta. If you had a crack at any official title within the organization, like realistic title. Like, hey, we want to hire you. Okay, Grant, we'll fucking hire you. What position would that be?
That's true. That's a good question. Like, honestly, if they offered me a job as quality control, I would have to turn it down because it's a ton of work and it's not that much money. And I couldn't do this channel anymore. Honestly, I would have to say no. Yeah. If the Niners hit me up and they were like, Cause I hit up Saleh when he went to the Jets and I was like, man, what the hell, dude? Like, how did you not give me a quality control job? He's like, first of all, the people have been working these jobs for their whole lives. I couldn't do that to you. Second of all, dude, I couldn't offer you that much money. It's like $60,000. It's really not a lot of money. And you work like, all freaking day.
Around the clock.
I don't know, man. Honestly, I think I like doing what I do. Do you understand how hard those coaches work, dude? They work way too hard. I don't think I want it. I mean, I never played the sport, so I can't be a position coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they want to bring me in as like a scout, like, dude, those guys work super hard. They're never home. They're all divorced. No offense. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. It's a tough life. It's a tough life.
They're never home. They're all divorced.
I'm just saying. I don't know any scouts like that, but I'm just saying. I don't know.
As electricians, that's one of our sayings. Like, you're not a real electrician unless you're divorced and DUI. Like, what? No, that's not true. Don't believe that.
Don't believe that.
Yeah. My last and final question, since we're talking about divorces and marriages, like that. Oh, that's beautiful timing. You had a wedding ceremony, did you not?
I did.
Okay. You from the Bay and you were born in 88, just like me, class of 06, baby. I had to do that. So, did you play Mac Dre at your damn wedding or not?
No.
What?
No.
He's like, no.
No. The old people weren't ready for Mac Dre, but I did play.
No. Yeah.
I did play Candy by Cameo, and that one made me real happy, man.
Yeah,
just like Candy.
Oh man, yeah, it was dope. Tokyo was dope, and I proposed to my girl out there. So, yeah, that was
What'd you say?
I would have jumped my ass off that damn bridge. Said no.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But I that was all I had for you today, brother. I fucking missed you.
I miss you too, man.
Sorry I haven't tuned in, but we're hey, bring us home this year, man. I got plenty more questions for you. And I was really disappointed in that you did not play Mac Dre in your goddamn wedding. Sorry. So my woman, she's Chinese, right? So like all of her elders and everybody on her side, right?
They're gonna be like, what is that? I just stuck with like 80s pop hits because everyone likes 80s pop hits. I was trying to play to the masses.
For sure.
Anyway,
but
I gotta wrap this show up, man. But it's good to see you.
Always,
take care, Jeremy.
Soon.
Later. All Niners says, the truth is with BP and TL is Kyle and John don't have a clue about either. And I don't think they can trade either one because if they keep the bad and trade the good, they might as well pack their bags. I agree. That's why, I mean, when Larry says they're going to trade Trey, man, that's bold. What if he becomes good? They never live that down. I think they're a little afraid of the unknown. They think they know, but they really don't. The Astro Channel says people call Kyle Shanahan an offensive genius, but when has his offense ever actually been really good outside Atlanta? It's not like they're the greatest show on turf. I'm with you on that. He's an offensive coach who builds through his defense. He spends all his money on defensive linemen. Like, what is that? That's why I compare him to Tony Dungy. You know, got this great team with Tampa, but you don't have the quarterback. You don't have the offense. They need John Gruden to come in and replace you, but that's not going to happen. Brian Culp, rocking the Cohn Zone. How you doing?
Fantastic. Happy.
That's a collector's item.
Dude, you can still get
them.
You know where to
you
ask.
can get those for like $100. They go for about $100 on eBay. Just saying.
If you find the website, you can get them if people still want them. Hey, so what do you know? You're a UCLA guy, right? So do you know anything about DTR?
Yeah, I've seen him play a bunch. He's like Purdy in the sense that he's played a lot of football. He's a 4-year starter. He's really elusive. He's very quick. He's a hell of an athlete. I mean, a much better athlete than Purdy. He's got a very strong arm, but he doesn't throw a really good deep ball, which is unfortunate. And he's a little scattershot with his accuracy. Although this last year at UCLA, he completed almost 70% of his throws. So he may be improving in that area, but he's looking like a guy that you could probably get pretty late in the draft, if not after the draft, and put on a practice squad. He's got a lot of experience and athletic ability. He's intriguing.
I love it, because that's what I was going to ask you is do you think we could actually somehow get him? I'm really, really excited about him. The guy's got
and I know that they've scouted him. I mean, Adam Peters went to UCLA. I go to the UCLA games when they come up here once a year. Stanford, Cal. He's always on the sideline, Adam Peters. Now, I don't know if he's there to just watch DTR or if he's just loves watching UCLA football, but he knows DTR. He's been watching him for a long time.
Yeah. And the reason I shouted it out, is he's got 2 last names. And the thought, if right now we have a quarterback, right? A couple quarterbacks. We have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. Maybe if you get a quarterback with 2 last names, you can have 1. I don't know. I'm kind of.
But again, if the Niners are looking for the next Purdy, part of that is 4-year starter. Like legitimately a guy who's played a lot of football, because the Niners, they want a guy who can step in and play right now. Well, that requires someone with experience. And there's not a lot of quarterbacks like that come out of college. Either they take a while to get the job or they flash early and leave early. Like, who really stays 4 years? People like Purdy and DTR. There's some. Also, the thing that was cool about Purdy coming out was he played 4 years without ever getting injured at Iowa State. DTR's had some injuries, so something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I'm excited again. If they could get him for like the practice squad, I think that would be kind of cool. Then they don't have to spend a lot of money on it. Really.
That being said, they're going to take some non-athlete.
Yeah,
bet you.
Yeah, and then before you end the show, if we somehow ever ended up with Kirk Cousins, like from 2017 to now, or if we end up with Kirk Cousins in the future, as Kyle being our coach, do you think this team can win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins?
No, I don't think he's good enough. I don't think the offensive line is good enough. No. What do you think?
I don't like him. I don't want him on the team, but I know Kyle.
You see Kirk Cousins beating Josh Allen in the Super Bowl, beating Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, throw for throw.
He can throw. He can throw, but I don't just like we shut him down. Our defense shut him down. He couldn't do anything. And it's just one of those things. But for whatever reason, I'm not going to say I want it, but I kind of see him coming.
It could happen next year. He'll be a free agent next year. It could happen next year if Brock Purdy regresses or something. Anyway.
Hey, Grant, thanks for having me. Thanks for
great to see you, man. Always a pleasure, man. Take care.
Remember,
What's
you
up?
guys want a hat, just go and.
I like that hat. That's a nice hat with the green bill underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Looking fresh, man. Have a good one.
You too.
CJ Gray, what it do? What it don't do?
What's going on,
What's up?
Grant?
What's going on?
Well, I just kind of wanted to respond to the Larry Krugers. He's on a campaign that Trey is getting traded.
Hey, real quick with Larry, I respect it. That's one hell of a prediction to put yourself out there on. We'll see what happens. I happen to disagree, but he makes a compelling case. I just feel like if Brock Purdy hadn't torn his UCL, I could see it. The way they talk about him, I think not that I would, I think they would. But he did tear his UCL. They don't know when he's coming back. If you trade Trey Lance, all you got as your quarterback is Sam Darnold, who doesn't even know the offense. How do you call yourself a win now team? And that's the only quarterback who's healthy on on your roster like until God knows when. I don't think they can really trade Trey even if they wanted to. First of all, I don't think they can do it until Brock comes back. Second of all, I don't think they get much for Trey Lance in a trade right now. That's the other thing. You're not going to get a first-round pick, a second-round pick. You might get a third-round pick because he was always drafted based off potential and hype. He didn't do much in college. Now, it's been 3 years since he's played. I feel like a lot of that potential and hype isn't there anymore, and people are saying, man, this guy is just a guy without a resume. So that doesn't mean he won't work out. It just means that I don't know what his value is in a trade. So why would you just trade him for nothing? Take the PR hit, show everyone how incompetent you are, and just say, oh, well, haha. I don't think they're going to do it.
And the whole thing, the whole crux of the matter is Larry is pushing for trading during the draft. We take like $11 million cap hit if we trade him before June 1st.
It doesn't even help the team financially. I don't think it helps the team.
Yeah,
they need quarterbacks, plural.
I don't know.
And I think he's probably better than Sam Darnold, if we're being honest, man. Sam Darnold? Are we kidding here? Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold. That guy has started 50+ games in his career, man. He is a head case.
Yeah, I get it. But the thing about Trey Lance right now is everything that I can agree on Larry about is it don't seem like they like Trey. It's like the teammates don't really haven't really come to their defense, really spoke highly of him, really. The whole Joe Montana thing during the 2021 Super Bowl, that's a thing because all his information came from talking during the players during that week.
But I feel like it speaks poorly of the team because Trey Lance hasn't done anything wrong. He hasn't been arrested. He hasn't complained. He hasn't been, unprepared. He's had some, stretches where he looked inexperienced, but he also had some stretches where he looked extremely talented. I mean, he's done everything he's supposed to do. He's only started 4 games and they're moving on. Like, they should feel bad and they should express some of that. Like, you know what? Trey's done everything right. And, we haven't necessarily done right by Trey. And it doesn't mean that we're just going to hand him a job. He's got to have to earn it. But at the same time, we are very aware of the fact that we've set his career back. We did it. And we don't want to be the organization that does that to young players. So they should say stuff like that as opposed to, Trey needs to prove that he can stay healthy. What?
Yeah.
Pardon?
I'm just
say that in my good ear? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Trying to figure out where they come up with where he's not able to play. And the only thing we can say is stuff behind the scenes and practices that make them not believe in him from an outside observer.
Fair. That's got to be it, right? It's something in practice. But at the same time, their ability to judge quarterbacks in practice they didn't realize Brock Purdy was good until he went in the game. They knew he was good enough to stay on the team, but they didn't know he was better than Jimmy Garoppolo until they actually went into the game because games are different than practice. Like, a lot of what a quarterback has to do in a game is avoid the pass rush. You know what I'm saying? And that's something you can't demonstrate in practice at all. There is no pass rush. So you got to see it. And these guys, they're making projections based on practice. They suck at that. That's hard to do. Let him play a freaking game. Let him play 3 games in a row, Trey Lance, and see what happens. Let him play quarterback.
I've never seen a top 5 pick at quarterback only get 4 games and then have the organization.
They're treating him like he's like a late 1, early 2.
I've never seen it. And so that's what kind of just leaves me confused.
He's going to get his shot, though. It's not like he's Paxton Lynch where if, 4 starts, 1 team, and then you're out of the league. Like, if the Niners move on, I don't know what he's worth in a trade, but some team will take him in as a project and see what they can do. I think a smart team will be looking at Trey Lance right now. It's like, man, you could get this. You could get a 22-year-old former 3rd pick in the draft for nothing because that team doesn't know what to do with him. And maybe they broke him. Maybe physically and mentally he's broken. Or maybe not. Maybe we can give him a year, pump him up with some confidence, and let him play. I don't know. See what could happen. But that's what I think a smart team would do. Get Trey.
Yeah, because I don't know if the owner is really going to be on board with just getting rid of them, and we've only seen 4 games. It's just the whole trade situation where I get the premise of it, but from Larry, I get the premise, but the
if you trade Trey,
I just can't see.
If you trade Trey before you know what Brock Purdy looks like after he comes back from this injury, what if Brock's not the same? And you traded him thinking you had something in Brock, but Brock 2.0 is different. Like, he legitimately has a noodle arm now, and he doesn't have some of the confidence he had back before the injury. Like, what if he, and you're like, damn, well, because that's essentially what happened with Jimmy. Jimmy was never the same quarterback after that ACL injury, and the Niners were already committed to him, and it was like, well, oops, that's not the quarterback we thought we were getting. Too bad. Maybe, I'm telling you, man, I understand. I just disagree with Larry. I think they have to hold on to Trey until Brock comes back and starts playing exactly at that level he played at last year. Until that happens, I don't see how you trade Trey. It could be such a bad move. CJ, I got to take a couple more before noon. Good call, though, man. Take care. All right, Irvin and then Jaden, and then I got to be out of here in 7 minutes. Irvin, what's up? You're muted. Bingo. There you go.
Grant, what's up, bro?
How you doing, bro?
Man, I can't complain, bro. I'm doing very well. And yourself?
I definitely can't complain.
Hey, man. Ain't nobody listening anyway. Don't nobody care. But
it's true.
But yeah, man. Just wanted to say a few things about the topic. As far as the direction of the team overall, I mean, for the most part, the direction is looking pretty good. For the most part, they're still up there. I mean, they're still pretty much in the conversation. And what they did during the offseason didn't really hurt their chances. They made some good moves, especially the Hargrave move. That was, top notch. They did lose a lot, but they kind of made up for it with what they gained. I like the offensive line moves. That was definitely an area of opportunity. So, I mean, the sky's the limit. But my big concern is this quarterback situation, man. Like with everybody else, like it just seems like it's still really kind of up in the air. And the Brock situation with him getting hurt just kind of made it even more up in the air. And my question to you is that once we get kind of the confirmation of where Brock is post injury, if he comes back and he, is kind of playing on the same level as he was before the injury, what do you think Trey's chances are of even staying on this team at this point, or even having a shot at competing for the starting quarterback role at that point? Like, is there even an opportunity?
No chance. No chance.
No chance, right?
But I mean, if Brock comes back from the beginning of training camp and looks great, like Trey's done, it's over. I mean, but that's not necessarily what's going to happen.
Right.
That's not necessarily what's in store for the 49ers.
Right. And that's why I'm just like, it's kind of really just up in the air right now. And there's really no it's no solid direction of how this is going to play out.
Because all they say basically is like, Brock's the leader in the clubhouse, right? Of course, anyone can figure that out. But you don't know who's healthy. You don't know what they're going to look like when they get back from injury. Like, they have no idea, essentially, who's going to be the starting quarterback week 1. If you got them off the record and say, who do you think is going to start week 1? I'm sure Kyle would be like, I don't know. I have no idea.
Exactly.
Maybe John says it's going to be Brock, but John, I think, is exercising wishful thinking.
Yeah. And I just think, man, it's not really going to help the team chemistry as a whole. Like, I just don't see how not having that solidified number 1 guy is really going to help the team overall, just going forward into next season. Because even if Trey comes out and balls out, the first game or 2, and then you're still trying to see where Brock is, then what? If Brock's good and Trey balls out for the first 2 games, then what? Then you got another quarterback.
No, but to me, like, there's a right answer to that. If Trey Lance, if you give him the entire offseason to prepare and get into a rhythm and play his best, and he hits the ground running and wins the first 2-3 games of the season, why would you bench him when he's rolling to put in a guy who had no offseason? That's putting a lot of pressure on Brock Purdy to just be like, hey, man, first of all, win right away. Hit the ground running. What if he needs a few weeks to like get his feet underneath him and build up his confidence again? Like, that's normal. Do you really have a month to throw away because you got to get him up to speed when the other quarterback's rolling? Like, why would you do that? Seems to me if Trey Lance is rolling, he stays. Because look, that's the whole thing with Brock, right? He was rolling, so he could stay, but then he got hurt and he opened up an opportunity. Jimmy was rolling, but then he got hurt and Brock came in. Now Jimmy's gone, so it just seems like they'll go with the hot hand. If it's Trey, it's Trey. If it's Sam Darnold, it's Sam Darnold. Honestly, if Sam Darnold wins the job week 1 and he wins his first 3 starts, it's his freaking job. That's how it's going to go.
Yeah, that will really.
Sorry, Brock, you're last year. Yeah, sorry, Brock, you're last year's news, buddy.
Sorry, bro.
You're super 2000 and late.
You almost got us there, but oh well.
Yeah. Enjoy this league minimum game check.
There you go. But that's the thing. Brock is so cheap. Oh man, I cut out.
No, you're here. Oh, he gone. He thinks he cut out, but he didn't. But I got to go to Jaden anyway. Jaden, what's up? Last call of the day.
How you doing?
How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. I'm moving back to the Bay Area in May, so I'm pretty excited right now.
Congrats. Whereabouts?
San Pablo.
Nice. Cool.
Yes.
Not too far from me.
Moving back to this place I was living a couple months ago. Just moving in with friends this time.
Nice.
But I wanted to talk about what Larry said, Trey getting traded, because I was thinking about this before he even brought it up, and I was thinking about 2 legitimate places he can go. If he did get traded, I don't really think they will, but if they did, what do you think about Packers? Because Jordan Love, they don't really know what they got in him, and if they brought in Trey, it would kind of be a QB controversy, it'd be a competition, see who's better,
That's funny. To me, Jordan Love and Trey Lance are very similar. Like Jordan Love is their Trey Lance. So I don't think so. I think if any team were to bring in Trey Lance, it would be a team like the Colts or the Falcons.
Yes, sir.
Or teams that sort of have an opening and they can afford to play him. So
yeah. Another team that I was thinking, but
Tennessee,
this
Washington.
is really unlikely. The Broncos, just because Russell Wilson basically did just as good as Trey did in his 4 games throughout the whole entire season. So it's like it would not really make sense, but have Trey underneath Russell Wilson, it would be interesting, but I don't think that would ever happen.
Yeah.
I think the Falcons could happen because they got Desmond Ridder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
could
so
happen.
It
just seems to me like if Trey Lance were in this draft, if someone could say like, Trey Lance, you're no longer on the 49ers. You get to go back in the draft right now. Where would he get taken? I mean, he hasn't played football in 3 years. He's coming off a serious injury. I think he'd probably be like the 5th quarterback in the draft, maybe. Like maybe he'd probably be, would he be a 2nd round pick? Maybe a 2nd round, maybe a 3rd round pick, something like that. A 3rd round
due
pick,
to the injuries and stuff, probably 3rd.
But
But I've just been thinking about like, don't you think the team and like the media in general have just been like low key, like mainly the team just disrespects Trey so much. Like whenever he first came in, whenever they first drafted him, like, oh, Kyle Shanahan, oh, I'm on the airplane and I'm taking him, like, and then he gets to the team and he's like, oh, we don't know, and like he's just super indecisive over who he's gonna play, and then he plays Trey Lance and absolutely runs him into the dirt. It made no sense. And then the media, they just like at the same thing with the team at the beginning. They're like, Trey area, oh, he's taken over the Bay Area, and then whenever he gets injured, it's like, oh, Brock Purdy, we don't know what we have in Trey. Like he could be terrible, and it's like, okay, he's had 4 games, like you were saying earlier in the show. Give the guy more time. I have a theory.
The Niners
Go
have
ahead.
this culture where the quarterback is supposed to not be that big of a deal. He's just one of the guys. He's not a special player. He's just a cog in the machine, unlike every other team in the league where the quarterback is the king of the freaking franchise. The Niners don't want that. And so Jimmy Garoppolo was just one of the guys. He wasn't special. You know, when they won, he wouldn't get the credit for it. Everyone else would get credit. And so Trey comes in. And Trey's supposed to be the savior. Trey's the third pick in the draft. They traded 3 years worth of picks to get him. You know, Trey's got this, supposed to have this crazy skill set. And I think a lot of people in the organization kind of like nitpicking him, being like, oh, this guy's supposed to be this super quarterback. He's supposed to save us. Like, well, actually, he's not ready and he's not as good as Jimmy right now. So I don't think they like the idea of having to be, you know, carried by a quarterback and saved by a quarterback. They want to be the other team. And so Trey represents that they can't be that team, that team failed. And now you guys all have to, the most important thing is the development of this one player.
Yeah.
And it is.
Yeah.
But they don't want that. They don't want that. They don't want, and so that's why they're never, ever going to develop that quarterback. They're always going to be, you know, drawn to the guy, the path of least resistance, the guy who's ready right now, which, you know, doesn't necessarily the guy who's going to win the Super Bowl for you.
If they would have came in with the Bills mindset when the Bills drafted Josh Allen, because to me, like, Josh Allen came into the NFL with poor mechanics, right? Trey Lance had, I wouldn't say a terrible touch, but he had a little bit of bad mechanics. He had also very good flashes with his mechanics sometimes. But like, all they needed to do was develop, like, in the same, not the same exact way, obviously, but similar to the way the Bills developed Josh Allen, because they're similar quarterbacks. Like, it should, I don't know, they just mishandled Trey so bad. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And basically their attitude right now is it doesn't matter. Yeah, we mishandled Trey, but it doesn't matter because we got Brock. It's like, man, that is such a, you know,
I also have a theory.
Empathetic thing to say about a young man that you totally cast off. Oh well, we got Brock. Sorry, Trey. Good luck.
I got a theory.
All right,
as well. Do you think because Joe Montana and Steve Young are here, like, QBs sometimes get a little bit nervous to play it for the Niners? Because they're still
maybe.
involved in
I mean,
the
maybe fans feel, you know, maybe the quarterbacks get held to a high standard here too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
for
possible.
sure.
Yep. Yeah. All right, Jaden,
All right, it was
man.
good talking
I'm
to
glad
you,
that
bro.
you're moving back to the Bay, man. Good talking to you too. I'll see you next time. All right. That's the show. Thanks for calling in, everyone. I don't know what my plans are for tomorrow, but I might do another one of these. We'll see. I like that Larry has made a bold prediction. I think he's wrong, but I'm open to him being right. Just seems to me like whether he's right or not, it's a bad. If the Niners trade Trey Lance on draft night, I'm gonna criticize him for it. You don't know what you have. He hasn't done anything wrong. You botched the process. You don't know what you have in Brock Purdy. You trade Trey Lance, and all you have that you know of, the only known quantity at quarterback that you got is Sam Darnold. That's not a good spot to be in. He doesn't even know your offense. Maybe in a couple of years, Sam Darnold will end up being someone you could, like the Geno Smith of the 49ers, but not now. You got to keep Trey. Whatever has happened with him, he knows the offense. He's smart. He's been here 3 years. He hasn't really gotten a chance to show what he can do as a quarterback. He's had to do so much running. Now I bet they won't run him as much because he's coming off a broken ankle. Also, what team is going to trade for Trey Lance coming off this broken ankle before they see him on a field? I mean, can he even pass a physical right now? Right now. I don't know. I don't even know. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.